Hey guys, Ernie here, Paleo Hiker MD. I am going to shoot you guys a video today about bushcrafting. And I will start by saying that I just shot this video complete and the microphone was off. So this is take two. Today's video is about bushcrafting, and it's specifically about bushcrafting kit. Putting together a kit of equipment that will allow you to start the journey into bushcrafting. Now, I will preface this entire video by saying I'm not a bushcrafter. I cannot survive outdoors with my bare hands for 3 to 4 weeks without any assistance. I just like this stuff. I'm intrigued by the whole concept of bushcrafting. I've watched all kinds of videos from MCQBushcraft, JoeRobinetBushcraft Outdoors, who's a really cool guy from Canada. Zed Outdoors, both those, and MCQBushcraft are all out in the UK. But the skills that they show are just fun. And I've said several times on the channel that we homeschool our kids. And I think that teaching kids knowledge is great, but practical skills is even more important. I love getting outdoors and I love learning these things. And teaching them the art of survival, the art of self-reliance, the art of hunting and taking care of themselves is just as important as the book knowledge, in my opinion. So today's video is kind of my bushcraft kit 1.0. I will emphasize it's not complete. This is just the beginning of what I've started to put together, and I have other things that I'm going to add to it, of course. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of the basics of what I've started and see how it goes. So here's my bushcrafting kit 1.0. All right guys, so the basics of my bushcrafting kit revolve around 3 things: water, fire, and shelter. Those are the first 3 things that I've tried to tackle in this particular kit. Now, this is all encompassed in a backpack that I purchased. It's a military style backpack. I bought it off eBay for about 19, 20 bucks. It's an amazing deal. It's got tons of room in it and it blends in well in the forest. And it has a lot of MOLLE webbing on it, so I can add anything I want to it. So that's kind of the baseline pack of this. It's back in my bed, somewhere underneath the bed, because my wife borrowed it, so I don't even know where it is, so I need to find it. But nonetheless, that's where it's going to be held. So we're going to talk 3 things real quickly: fire, water, and shelter. So for fire, first thing, of course, is getting firewood, processing the firewood, and starting a fire. So first thing is just a basic set of gloves. I always have a set of gloves in any backpack I have. These are a little bit more heavy duty than what I normally carry. They're kind of a faux leather, like a hide, that I can easily work with, get my hands dirty, work with sharper things, and not be as worried about injuring my hands. I can tell you guys, it's easy to scratch yourself, it's easy to mess yourself up, and you can start with a little scratch and end up with an infection very quickly. So gloves are a good idea. So then we go to processing the wood. So you're going to probably start with larger wood, and for that I have just a basic Laplander saw. These things are very nice. I've used this one quite a bit. This one is actually brand new. It's never even been out because I purchased 2. I have one that I just left out there. It's a little dirty from using it, that I've used out in the woods before, and this one I bought specifically for our motorhome. You know, you get to campsites often and you have these big huge limbs that have fallen, great for firewood, but you can't cut them very easily. So I bought one of these Laplander saws just for that, and that's where it's going to go. So this helps you get bigger firewood into smaller, and then once you have smaller firewood, then you want to baton it down into smaller sticks and stuff like that. So you usually will use a knife. I'm starting my journey with a basic Mora companion. I wish I would have bought the companion heavy duty, and in fact I probably will order one soon, because I think having the larger spine on the knife itself, you can see this spine's fairly narrow. Although you can use this, you can baton down and break and bust open the lobs and process them into smaller pieces. It just, I think it would be better to have the heavy duty. Plus I get to buy another knife. One modification I did do to this is This is carbon steel, by the way, so you have to keep this blade clean and oiled. If you're going to use this type of knife to strike a ferro rod, it won't work straight out of the factory. It's a rounded edge right here. So I got my Dremel tool and I just ground it down to a 90-degree angle, and I can create a very good spark with my ferro rod using this particular knife. You will not be able to do that out of the box, like I said. This is all in the very basic Mora plastic sheath. It's very practical. I can hang it on my belt. I do have about 15 feet of paracord wrapped on here. I'll try to show you guys a link to the page, the video where I learned how to do this. This is not going anywhere. This stuff is on super tight, and it looks pretty cool too, I think. So that will help me process the firewood. To start the fire, I would definitely have a lighter. Now, people say that's not bushcrafty. You're right, but it's also not stupidity. So if you get out there and you can't light a fire and you have to light a fire, you want to have a backup plan. I just showed you guys, this is my monster 6" by 1/2 inch ferro rod. Love this thing. Just got it in, and the plans are, even though it does have a hole here for a lanyard, my dad is pretty much an expert woodworker, and he has a lathe, and I'm going to get him to lathe me a nice handle. I'll use up about 1.5 inches of this so that I can hold it tight. I'll have about 4.5 inches or a little more of exposed rod, and I'll be able to light fires forever with this thing. And it's really beefy and really good, and it's kind of what I wanted. I wanted something even bigger than you can find. I ordered this off eBay. I paid about $10 for it, and it's pretty awesome. Last, I have my Sucrets tin with plenty of char cloth. That's how I start most of my fires when I'm not using a lighter or something like that. It works extremely well. You get your tinder bundle together, and with a nice chunk of char cloth, you can really get that hot and create a fire very easily. So that's fire, knife, processing, spark, and char cloth. From the standpoint of water, two things. I will carry a Sawyer Mini water filter with the straw attachment, so I can reach in anywhere and filter water easily. Now, of course, I think that the goal of bushcrafting is to process your water yourself and to boil it. And that's what most people do, and I agree. I think it'd be great. Make a fresh tea, whatever it might be. So I have this. I've had this Stanley Adventure cup for quite some time, and I think it's perfect for bushcrafting. It's stainless steel. It's super heavy duty. It's got a handle that I can easily pull off and use. It's got a lid. Now, the one thing it's missing is it does not have a bail or something to hang it with. I've tried to find several ways to do it, to put one on. I'm sure you guys have lots of brilliant ideas. I just couldn't get the cord to really wrap tight enough to where I felt really comfortable that it wouldn't come off. But David's Passage had a great video on using 2 alligator clips and this metal rope, which is just basically the stuff you see from ceiling fans. They hang off ceiling fans and you can pull them down. You just take one of these on each side. It fits right into the lip of the Coleman or the Stanley cup. And there you go. This thing is on there. It's not going anywhere. I mean, it's on there good, and it'll easily hold the weight of the water, which is really all you need it to hold, and weighs about 2 ounces. And you've got yourself a very functional bushcrafting water container. Now, for added flexibility, of course, if you're under a tarp, I like to add a little flexibility. And if I'm not able to have a big fire, if it's storming, raining, and I cannot build a big fire, I just don't have the skills to build a big fire, and I still want to boil some water, I will bring my Hexagon titanium wood stove by Vargo. It's virtually weightless. You can put your fuel right in the door there, start a small fire, easily boil some water. I even have from Dutchware, let's see if I can pull this out, from Dutchware Gear, where I get a lot of my hammock stuff, where he makes his little Dutch flies, he sells just a little grate. It's made out of titanium. It fits wonderfully right on top, and I could grill meat, grill whatever I want right on top of this. So that's pretty neat. And this does very easily and securely hold my Stanley Cup. So a little extra insurance and an easy way to make a small fire to boil water on a hike or whatever it might be. So the last couple of things on my 1.0 bushcraft kit is extra cordage, of course, plenty of 550 paracord. I have, for shelter, my Mamajamba tarp from Warbonnet Outdoors. I probably will get, I almost bought off Mass Drop the other day, a Kelty tarp, just a dedicated tarp, just a flat tarp. But I can easily use this in the same configuration as I do when I go hammock camping. Just make the stakes out of twigs. And of course, also will probably carry my Warbonnet Outdoors Blackbird XLC. That's my shelter. Pretty good shelter between the hammock and that. Now, if I'm going out for cold weather, of course, I would bring my top quilt and bottom quilt. If I'm going out for warmer weather, I'd probably just bring like a little blanket or something that I'd easily be able to sleep with. Last thing I think is important is just a little notebook. This is just to kind of keep track of my ins and outs as I'm out doing my bushcrafting, what worked, what didn't work, things like that. So that is a look at my introductory or my preliminary bushcrafting kit that I've put together. I expect this to be a series of videos where hopefully I can build the kit over time. I can also show videos of me using it, particularly with my kids as we learn things, putting shelters together, building fires, more of that stuff. That's something I already really enjoy, and I'd like to teach them even more. So again, this is just the beginning of a journey for me. I look at my life in the long term. I think that bushcrafting is something you learn over years and years and years. And I'm not in a hurry to learn all these skills. I'm not in a hurry to purchase the kit and get it all together just so that I can say, hey, wow, check it out, I got all this stuff. I want to buy some stuff, learn to use it, which is in the process, what I'm in the process of doing right now, and then continue on from there. So I hope you guys are able to come along. This is going to be part of the channel, a little bushcrafting aside part of the channel. You guys can see that I have all kinds of stuff on Paleo Hiker MD, from geocaching and cooking and health with my recent Whole 30 that I'm in the middle of, backpacking, hiking, RVing, all kinds of stuff. Just trying to show what an active family does and the fun that you can have in this great world that God created for us. So I appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys continue to follow us as we go on our many journeys. We'll be going on some pretty fun journeys here coming up soon. We have trips coming up to Texas and a trip up to Missouri for some RV camping. And later on down the line, my wife and I are going to take a trip to Savannah and Charleston. So we'll probably bring you guys along for that, just to see some of the sights and sounds and especially tastes of those cities. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed Bushcrafting Kit 1.0. Again, it's not a complete kit. It's not meant to be. Just sharing what I have so far. So if you have any comments or suggestions, just leave them for me. Thanks for watching.